I'm joined today by Tyler and Serena from Residents in Recovery, and we are talking about 2022, the year that was. Tyler and Serena, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Let's talk about 2022. You guys accomplished so much. I mean, you accomplish so much every year, but this seemed to be like a really big year for Residents in Recovery. So I guess let's talk about some of the programs and some of the things that you guys added and that are ongoing for 2022.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it was a big year, really. That started, late last year, with the addition of the healing center, the old Harris House, and expansion of our family program. And then we added the childcare facility this year. So, I mean, it was a really huge expansion for us, in the last, 16 to 18 months. We pretty much, I guess we've increased like 500% over previous. So we've added a lot of staff. I think we're at 35 staff now, and multiple facilities. So it's been a huge growth year for us. A big part of that has obviously been the family program, which Serena kind of has spearheaded from the start and built, because that's kind of her passion.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, Serena. Tell me about the family program and how that came to fruition and how it's going. It just seems to be another success story for you guys.
Yeah, it really has been. It certainly, like Tyler said, has been a passion of mine for a while, and it really seemed to align with Tyler as well, and something that we both really recognized such a need for. And I think, that's something Residents in Recovery is really known for, is filling those gaps in the services in addiction and mental health. And this was a real glaring one around the need for mothers and children and treating the family, right, in terms of supporting them, whether it be reunification or preventing apprehension. So what started as sort of an idea and a conversation, and it honestly felt like a day later we were reviewing properties, and this has just unfolded so rapidly in front of us, and has grown, like Tyler mentioned, just so exponentially since the initial idea started.
Tyler, I'd just like to ask you about the need in this community. I mean, obviously, there's always going to be a need for programs and for so many things related to what Residents in Recovery does. How important is it for you to get support from the community? Because obviously you can't rely on, all your funding from government sources and ongoing regular donors, right? So how important is it for you to have such amazing support from the community?
Yeah, I mean, it's essential. If we don't have community support, we can't operate, especially at the level that we operate right now. We had, over 150 residential stays last year, or this year, I guess, in 2022 so far. We've had, over 200 people take advantage of our outpatient day programming. So these are programs that support not only our clients, but the greater community in so many ways. And only about 10%, 15% of our funding actually comes from government funding agreement with the Saskatchewan government. So we're actually required to raise. We operate with about 30% or 40% of our funding actually comes from donations and community grants. So I mean, it's so important to have that community support, because without that $300,000 or $400,000, we can't operate, and we're closing our doors again. Yeah.
Well, you guys have done so much this year, and looking ahead to 2023, if you had a wish list of things that you could just say, snap your fingers and it's going to happen, what would be some of the things that would be on those lists?
More beds, more properties. I mean, we're always looking for downtown residential properties to expand both our sober living and family programs. The demand for our services is so high. I mean, our waiting list, you know, if we looked at our full waiting list would be in the hundreds. We keep it really, you know, in the high double digits simply by who contacted us in the last 2 weeks. And you know, that numbers ranges from 60 to 90. That's how many calls we get. And we don't even expand or open our waiting list up to family reunification because we just have so many uh, internal people for that program. You know, that family program is something that could, you know, fill apartment buildings with the actual demand out there. And then government funding, I think, you know, increased government funding, you know, especially in the area of family programming. You know, our mothers that go into the healing center are generally First Nation because there is money available through the bands and through Jordan's Principle for those mothers. But any of our Caucasian mothers, they don't have funding. We've generally had one pro bono case in our healing center at any given time. We're working on having one come from the hospital actually, you know, just prior to this interview. You know, but it would be nice to see governments, you know, see the advantage of keeping families together, keeping babies and families with their mothers, and you know, have an investment in that, and so that we could expand that program even more.
Well, you guys have been doing such amazing work. Serena, did you want to add to something that Tyler was just saying?
Yeah, I was just gonna, you know, kind of echo in terms of, you know, the desire for, you know, if the miracle could happen, is really, you know, that those continuing care beds that would be available for the people, for the families that begin with us in the Family Healing Center. I think that's one of the things that residents in recovery is really good at, is providing services that just aren't these sort of one-shot, sort of limited, you know, here's the treatment experience and now you're on your way. I think where our success lies is really walking along clients along their whole recovery journey, right? So the whole trajectory of the treatment experience, which includes, you know, after that more intensive, supporting them in second stage and, you know, preparing into transition and all of that takes time, right? And so as, you know, we're moving into this, you know, almost third year, you know, a year and a half later, you know, these all our continuing care beds are full from clients that have already completed, right? And so it's really becoming evident as this continues to grow, the second stages need to grow along with it. And I think that's where the value of care can really can shine and improve. And so, yeah, for the community and governments to be able to really, for governments especially, to really recognize the value in that would be, yeah, certainly the miracle that I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I know we always try and keep up with what you're doing in the community, and it seems like every other week you've got a project or something else going on. So we wish you all the best for 2023. And thank you again for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks, Stacey.
Thank you, Stacey.